This is the Carle Thursday walkthrough. Carle, the official healthcare provider of Fighting Illini Athletics. Welcome back to the Thursday walkthrough, presented by Carle. And Coach, one thing we talked about after the game, you said it a few times in your comments this week when looking back at the game against Iowa, that the effort was much improved. You know, effort, is that something that you can tangibly measure? And if so, how do you do that?
Martin, you can definitely tangibly measure effort. And we talk an awful lot about it. For instance, I mean, we grade every play, every snap. I mean, we give a technique grade, and that's just based on whether the guy's doing what he's supposed to do. But we get the same thing on just effort. From the moment a play starts, we want him to have maximum effort. Maybe that's running to the football. And most of the time it is running to the football. But there's a plus and a minus you get every play just for effort.
And did you see, just as you were charting, you know, and looking back at the grades for the team, was there a marked improvement from the week before?
Yes, we could tell that also while the game was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Once we got back, and of course we got the grades out, it said that almost to a man we played harder. And if we continue to take those type of steps, we should eventually get to where we want to go.
Well, and getting to where we want to go, and certainly in order to do that, it has to be an entire team effort. And one thing that I think we've seen so far this season, due to injuries or a quarterback change this past week, but there have been guys, you know, maybe being asked to do things that maybe they're not as comfortable with. You know, Nick Allegretti,
yes,
you know, being guard and going to center, and we saw Chase Crouch, you know, kind of in an H-back role this week. How do you feel like guys have responded to that as the season has gone along, and you know, have they started to embrace those roles?
They've definitely embraced that, and whenever you sign up to be a team member, it's wherever the team needs you to play, and we have had that. You mentioned a player like Nick Allegretti. His natural position is guard, but our center went down. He was on the guy that he was our next best option there. He did that a few weeks for the team. This past week, moved back to guard, played his best game, but that's throughout. Our nose guard and our tackle position, they're interchangeable. It changes from week to week. Our linebackers, Mike, Will. So you have to be able to do each week what the team needs you to do to win a game.
Absolutely. Well, and we saw it again. We've seen flashes of it this season, but we saw it a couple times in particular last week. Lewis Dorsey, you know, the ability to kind of stretch the field in between the hashes. What kind of a schematic advantage does that give an offense, and how much stress does that put on an opposing defense to have somebody that can kind of work in between the hashes like that?
Well, it gives you quite a big advantage. And as you're grouping your tight ends together on the body types you want, you need to have one tight end that's more of an inline blocker. But you need to have a move guy like a Lewis Dorsey, and the matchup advantages he gives us. Most of the time you'll have a linebacker, you'll have a safety covering him, and we should win that matchup most of the time. And Lewis was able to do that, a couple big plays for us this past week.
And certainly, you know, and looking back at the game, 200 yards rushing, the offensive line seemed to have one of their better games of the season. And you know, throughout your career, you've been around some really good offensive linemen. I think back to you know your time with the Bears, and Olin Kreutz and John Tate and Reuben Brown. I mean, what are the characteristics and the attributes that you look for most in an offensive lineman?
Well, in an ideal world, you want to get a group that plays together. You know, get one group and they play together the entire time.
That hasn't happened this year.
And that's tough to get that. But when you can get it, it's special. But what you're looking for in your offensive lineman, first off, you have to have a bell cow. I mean, a guy that's a tough guy that sets the tempo. And that is Nick Allegretti for us. Wherever we've asked him to play, he does it. He was dominating this past week. Then you have to just try to get the best group together at their rightful spot. I feel like we were able to do that this week. We had same 5 guys played throughout, and we saw them grow from the first quarter to the last. Of course, when you have 4 freshmen, it's kind of neat to just see them get better and get better each play.
Looking forward to Rutgers, what's one thing you want the team to focus on this week?
Well, there's a lot of things that we need to improve on, but we talk about how much harder we played last week and we made plays, but that turnover ratio, you can't get away from it. And yes, on the offensive side, we have to protect the ball, more ball security, but defensively, you have to take that football away more. That's the winning edge.
Okay, and now we're going to deviate a little bit here. No Game of Thrones this week. We'll go back to that. There's plenty of stuff to unpack there. Going back to food, what's your favorite dipping sauce?
Favorite dipping sauce? I mean, that's
Don't
pretty.
you dare say ketchup.
No, I'm not.
Okay, something more exotic.
But just as a, throughout my life, I didn't really start using blue cheese until late in my life. Oh. And now it seems like I can put blue cheese on dressing on just about anything. So it would easily be some type of blue cheese.
I did not see that one coming. That's really good. Okay, Italian beef or Polish sausage?
Easy one also. I'm sure some people like Italian beef, but Polish sausage is hard to beat it. And I try to, different places I go, I try to, if I can I like to see the local Polish sausage that they have.
Nice fresh made Polish sausage. Yeah,
a lot of different flavors you can get different places.
Now, have you gotten the smoked and the fresh?
Smoked and the fresh, of course.
Of course.
It's hard to go against smoke at any time.
Yeah, that's a true story. Okay, so finally, somewhat tangential. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No, to me, a hot dog is a hot dog. A sandwich is a sandwich. Why I say that about hot dogs, when I talk about Polish sausage, I've tried to eat a hot dog just about everywhere I've ever gone in my life. I feel like I'm like a hot dog connoisseur.
Really?
We don't consider it a sandwich, so I'm going to say a hot dog is a hot dog.
Now, other people would say, well, it's meat in between bread.
Yeah.
Hot dog is its own.
Yeah, yes. That's like some car is a car, but it's, a Porsche is a Porsche. It's a car too, but it has its own special name. I'm going to say the same thing for that hot dog.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. It's its own separate thing. Good. I'm glad we could finally settle that for the nation. It's been a raging debate for quite a while now.
Fair enough. It should be.
It should be. Okay. Well, Coach, thank you for your time, and thanks for stopping by the Carle Thursday walkthrough. Carle, the official healthcare provider of Fighting Illini Athletics.
Looking for a card that gives you more? Illini Visa Rewards Card. Earn points every day to fly any airline, anytime, no blackout dates. The Illini Visa Rewards Card. Available only through U of I Community Credit Union.